Hi guys, well it's a new process for me here, setting up this this mic and trying to do filming on the hop. But welcome to episode 2 of season 3, and you'll find me now on the walk. This is the walk leading straight from the car park I was in for vlog 1 with those peregrine falcons, still at Ladywalk Reserve. Just behind me here, this path that I'm on runs alongside the River Tyne, and up now towards the bank, and this 15-foot fence this way behind the camera is the boundary to the Sainsbury's Logistical Park. The wonderful thing, and the whole reason I wanted to stop here for this vlog today, the wonderful thing about this setup, the geographical setup here, and you'll find that you'll identify runs like this, I call them runs, scrub runs, as you go along through your patch, is that it tends to offer yourself a chance to get directional wildlife, especially birds. Now this time of the year, obviously winter time, you're going to get a fair few flocks of birds, groupings of birds, gatherings of birds, generally in the mainstay tits, whether it be long-tailed blue, coal together, but then you also get some finches as well, and the likes of siskins and chaffinches. Lots of these, of course, lots of the finches, that is, will be Scandinavian, maybe the occasional brownie, but they tend to come in groups. And in a situation like this, where they're backed off by a fence and then an industrial park and a river this side, you'll tend to find they traverse very, very obviously in one particular direction. It doesn't take long to ascertain when you see a winter flock of birds like this which direction they're going in. And if you're a stills guy, if you're a stills photographer, then to be amongst them, you can get some really good shots, because also at this time of the year they tend to be so occupied with their feeding habits, they become really approachable. But as a film guy, being amongst them isn't really any good. It all gets very confusing. There tends to be lots of high angles. So I use situations like this in the very unique spaces like this to try and ascertain one direction, and then two, to get ahead of them, potentially a good 30, 40 yards ahead of them. And that's exactly what I've done right now at this moment, because just as I was coming through the gate, I had a flock of tits, a small flock of finches, but also a pair of bullfinch. So the idea is to get ahead of them. I'm assuming they're working the brambles at the back, and we'll see how it goes. So I think right now they're probably, I can't hear them yet, and this is the thing with bullfinches. I'm relying on hearing them, and they have this wonderful plaintive kind of fluty call. As a kid, I always used to differentiate between them and chaffinch by thinking chip for chaffinch, and obviously then chew for bullfinch. But it's a wonderful, very subtle fluty call, very unique, and I can't hear it yet. But I have sighted myself specifically here, as I say, a good sort of 40, I think probably about 40 yards away from the direction they were coming, because behind me, or behind the camera there, and against this fence, is a mass of bramble. I've been noticing they've been taking the old seeds from the dehydrated fruit from last autumn. Some of the fruit obviously wasn't taken in its prime, and some of the seeds persist. And these guys, this pair of bullfinches, and if you know bullfinches, obviously you'll realise they do hang around in pairs pretty much the whole of their life. Wonderful kind of monogamous pairing in the bird world. Then they're taking these little seeds off in unison, doing like a kind of tandem thing. So I'm risking it. I mean, this isn't in any way a surety, but it's certainly, and I would say this, it's certainly not a rarity for geographical spots like this, for areas of scrub like this, that are caught in a simple line, to almost, as best as you can, guarantee you an opportunity. So what I'm going to have then is the birds approaching me, and I think I've just heard, yeah, so I've just heard them calling. Can't see them yet. It's very thick, dense scrub here. There's some alder and elder and a few birch around, but just outside of this dense scrub there's a bit of a clearing, and as I say, this really quite considerable bramble, which is about 10-15 metres away, but holding a lot of that, I can see holding a lot of that dehydrated fruit. So fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Okay guys, I'm going to be quite still very shortly because they are moving along. They're about 10 yards away, but they seem to be within the dense structure of the penultimate bramble to mine. And I think I'll be okay because, as I say, there's a fair bit of distance between me and where they would enter the bramble. Of course, when they do move, they're instantly recognisable because of that bright Purcell white rump that they have. I can see them now. Okay, so we've got the male that's coming first. Just entered the bramble. Obviously the issue I have here is tracking him. What I really want as a filmmaker is I want a 10 to 15 second shot would do. God, he's a busy boy. Filming at 30 frames a second, I'm going to reduce that by 80%. So, okay, here we go. Okay, that's nice. And down. Oh, guys, that's the shot. That's the shot right there. That's the shot right there. Right, I'm going to do the long shot whilst he's sat there. Any of you that know that have seen my previous vlog about storytelling know that's always vital to try and at least get in one different perspective. Oh, there goes the female. I think I was right in front of him. So she's moved on past me, but he's sticking around. Back in again. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable now. I'm relaxed now. I was nervous before he arrived and wondering whether I'd get the shot. And he's away. He's away. Wow. So you can see where the female is. That was a nice experience. Yeah. So the key thing here is, I might have appeared a bit cocky in saying I've seen bullfinch. I'm going to stand here and they will come. There's no Kevin Costner here. As far as the memory can serve me, bullfinch comes into shot right to left, and there are, unfortunately, I think there's a pair of branches just in front of him. It's still relatively good, still relatively pleased with that, but then he takes off from that position, kind of semicircles underneath, and I believe, as far as my memory can serve me, unless I'm wanting to see things in my memory, I believe he lands with a wonderful piece of foreground bramble. It's almost outlining him. And he sits without any intersection of any foreground for a few seconds there. And that for me will be my shot. Chiffchaff calling. Talking of courting, now this won't be it'll be one. I'm just going to try and catch this chiffchaff. Go over. There we go. What about that, guys? Superb. Calling right behind me now, but that was a turn up for the books. And that just goes to show also another reason why this particular run, scrub run, has been so successful for me throughout the whole of the winter, because there's an inordinate amount of invertebrate life here. I don't think there's been a day that I haven't come to Ladywalk and used this path and I haven't had a cloud of midges, not a single day, even through the coldest parts of winter. And I think that's got a lot to do also with the fact that it runs alongside the River Tame. Probably also a lot to do with warmer winters, wholesale, global warming, climate change. But yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a good session. So start off with using the dynamics of a scrub run like this, and especially during the seasons where you can have flocks of birds moving in a specific direction, because you know pretty much in a run like this they have nowhere else to go other than towards you, as long as you get beyond them. You ascertain their direction and get beyond them, as I did with the bullfinches. It took a while, it took longer than I thought it would, because it was only 30 yards in front of them, but they must be sourcing lots of seeds on these dehydrated blackberries. And eventually though, within 7 minutes, 8 minutes, I had the male here just in front of me, sourced a really good bramble here covered in those dehydrated fruit, and sure enough he took to it. Just a little bit, applying a little bit of common sense and knowing the habits of these birds. But it's a great trick, works more often than not. So if you can find your own scrub run, please remember it and employ it, because it will give you, or bring you rewards. It will pay off in dividends. Well, thanks guys, that's the end of vlog 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Nice little bit of touch of spring there, though, even if our Chiffchaffs are Eastern European. It's nice to hear one calling. And please take care, be safe, and I'll see you in vlog 3 next week. Thanks guys.